Warning, this game is not for kids. Duh. Please read this thoroughly. I released a dating sim after the release of my first game, Liminal Void. You date a Jirai-kei girl 5 times, then you get one of 32 endings. That's right, 32 endings. 8 happy, 8 breakup, 8 cheating, and 8, mystery endings. Why the heck did I do this? I can't talk about this game with family. It's one of my primary incomes. What the hell? Do you think that I have some sort of gamer life where I talk openly about dating sims with other people? No, not at all. This whole project was very scary. I look back and I'm like, "Aw shit, I wrote that. What was I on?" I worried deeply about the writing, but the positive reception I got from the game made me feel real good. And I'm very happy that a lot of people enjoy the game. So I owe a lot to them to explain what Landmine Princess is. I didn't go in with a genre in mind, but if there was a specific genre, I guess it would be utsuge, basically games that make you cry, sad games, melancholic stuff. If you read the writing in Liminal Void, then you might picked up on a pattern. I'm a sad dude. At its very core, it's a visual novel. You read text, see images, have choices, then have consequences. But I also threw in a stats system for the ending calculation. I did a lot of science and research and determined that the stats for these 32 endings work well. So with that in mind, you get visible feedback on your choices whenever you make a decision on certain questions. I know when it comes to a dating game, people expected minigames or some scenario events and such. I find all of that to be kind of like the backdrop of actual dialogue, because communication is ultimately what goes on in a relationship. I made a very discreet game. The stats are pretty much the only real gameplay mechanic when you get down to it. Most games are though. And it's a very straightforward and quick game. You start the game, read a bit of dialogue, select your date, read your dialogue, select your date event, then select the activity in that event, read the dialogue, answer a question, get points for that question, occasionally give a gift, get a random second dialogue, answer the second question, get your stats, and the date is over. Repeat 4 more times, and there is your ending. Why this format? The game was advertised as fast love. You can finish a single run in 20 to 30 minutes, even less if you're impatient with dialogue or decisions. But then, why play this game? There's a very likely chance that you will get a bad ending, at least a 50 to 75% chance. But the stats carry, so you can try again in your next run. And if you don't like your stats, you can just click a button on the main menu to change it. There's no pausing, and you're expected to sit through this. I'd like to imagine that every run with Mina is sort of like an experimental short film of dating a girl like Mina. Every small decision somehow affects the ending. But why? Short answer is replayability, but if I can try to give a long answer, when you go through a bad breakup, turmoil, or something of a similar nature, you play a lot of scenarios in your head. If you did things differently, and that kind of stuff. But that's not how life works. But we have video games. This game basically shows that, because right after you screw up, you can try again. And there are factors like luck that could prevent you from doing the same path over and over again. This is not a linear narrative game. This is a rogue narrative game. Every time you talk to Mina, she drops lore. And you can find all the lore she gives you so far in the options menu for Mina's lore. Why? Because I feel like a character like Mina has a lot of stories that explain her behavior and such. I guess I gotta talk about Mina. Okay, since I created her and stuff, I guess there's a lot of questions as to why. If I'm gonna make a dating sim, why the hell does it gotta be a Jirai-kei girl who fetishizes hurting you? It's a very hard question. I guess in a weird way, the style is very much reflective of a new era in Japan, but also the world. I know it sounds dumb, but we tend to downplay stuff like fashion and romance as superficial things that don't matter or pertain to responsibility. You know, consumerism and all that stuff. But I think in a lot of ways, it's very reflective of the socioeconomic stuff going on at the time. I'm not talking about big issues, I'm talking about stuff like how a bad economy could make a father lose his job, then take it out on his family, and his kids grow up to have serious issues that they can never recover from. And surprise, surprise, when his kids get married or into a relationship, they like repeat the same shit that their parents did, that sort of stuff. Well, maybe not. This is just a dating sim, right? But consider this, Mina is a character who has family issues, traumas from previous relationships, and a very adversarial nature with societal expectations of whatever it is she's stuck with, especially when it comes to the dynamics between men and women. There's a lot of stuff Mina talks about or makes fun of that you could likely find on a TikTok feed or something like that. But what I wanted was a character that was pretty reflective of the world and the player, someone who clocks you, basically. So what kind of girl is Mina? Well, she likes punk music, strawberry cupcakes, making fun of corpos, cats, duh, karaoke, spicy stuff, duh. And she's probably the type of girl who has a couple of Vivienne Westwood necklaces lying around. You know, why not? Some strawberry charms too. But, you know, that's all surface level stuff at the end of the day. Well, not really. There was a reason she likes these kinds of things, but I guess that's all in the lore. What is a lore drop? Come on, it's 2025. It's just a very important fact that explains why someone is the way they are, even if they don't know it. But Mina says a lot of things that gives away information about stuff she likes, the stuff she had, the life she wants to have, the people who hurt her, everything. And when you read it all at once, I guess it depends on who you are. To some people, Mina might just be a very dumb girl. To others, she might be tragic. Some of these lore drops are random, and others might be confusing. I thought about this a lot, but our memories have a random and confusing stuff in it, so I just wanted to have some of these lores reflect reality. Your lore on Mina only grows through every playthrough, so this right here is your only progression system in the game, because stats can reset. And I have an achievement waiting for anyone who can get 100% of Mina's lore. But it's no big deal, because you can't know everything about someone. There are some things that can hurt you, but I guess love can drive you to do that.
Lie to me.
I wish I could explain this specific mechanic better, but I best not. Most of the songs from Landmine Princess are stuff directly taken from the Liminal Void soundtrack, which is available to purchase on Steam, Bandcamp, and available to stream on any platform, including Spotify and Apple Music. It's mostly clean guitar stuff, and the other stuff is mostly stuff I recorded before Liminal Void, before COVID, a long time ago, a past self. I used to record a lot of music, and while I was in bands, they didn't really amount to much. I don't want to talk about my past that much, but music was and still is a pretty big deal in my life, and the soundtrack in Landmine Princess hopefully reflects that. There are some talks of music in the game, and there is a date at a concert. I try not to be too in your face about the music, and I try to keep the music subtle so they don't get in the way too much. There is actually a lot of unfinished tracks I haven't implemented into the game just yet. I've been doing a lot of guitar playing and some recording and remixing, but I don't know. There is a lot of unreleased songs for Landmine Princess right now. It sounds very dumb, but I have a lot of unresolved issues preventing me from finishing songs or something. I wish I could explain it. So, just like my first game, Landmine Princess is getting a soundtrack release separated by 2 volumes. Volume 1 will be released by the time summer ends, hopefully. Volume 2, I'm not sure. Alright, so the way that I released it was kind of like an idiot. let's just rewind a little. After I released Landmine Princess, I got some feedback that improved the game. I also added 8 new dating scenarios. I fixed the typos regularly throughout, various times, and I do get lazy about it, but, I do have to keep my mind off of it, but I want to lore drop on you a little. Landmine Princess was just a taste of Landmine Girlfriend.
What?
See, after Liminal Void, I wanted to jump to my next game, Landmine Girlfriend, which I wanted to release the following year in 2025. Unfortunately, Liminal Void had a lot of bugs that were bottlenecking its sales. I had to fix it. It was my first game and it had to be good. It got me into MagFest and Bit Summit, so I got to meet a lot of cool people, got real life feedback, and it gave me a lot of validation in being a solo game developer. So, after that, I still want to do Landmine Girlfriend, but I realized that if it was going to be the next 3D game and I had the whole system planned out, getting stuff like voice actors, funding, a proper in-house animation system, and a lot of other things, it's not going to be financially sustainable to develop, not now at least. So I made a bet with a friend of mine that I can make a prototype in about 2 weeks, and I did. It was Landmine Princess. It was very bare bones. I removed any mini games that I thought I could add to it and just made it purely like dialogue. And I released it late May, but I really fumbled the wishlist algorithm because I didn't do the whole announce your game 3 months before release thing. I should. It helps a lot with marketing, but I just didn't. And the main reason the game was able to sell was because some cool people liked it, then shared it, and it meant a lot to me and definitely to my sales. So, what now? Well, I still gotta upload the first soundtrack for the game. There's gonna be a Japanese localization of Landmine Princess in August 25. That's right, people in Japan will finally be able to play this game right. Landmine Princess is also on sale right now, or at least between August 18 to 25 of 2025, so please get it on Steam. I really need the income. And if you really want to support me, buy both my games in the bundle. You can fix her. But with that said, I'll be updating this game frequently, especially with the expected influx of Japanese gamers. Very important to note, this is not a game with nudity or sex scenes, even if there's implication. So if it were to get an ESRB rating, it would likely get an M for mature. If the soundtrack had lyrics, it would definitely need parental supervision. It's one of those games, but it's an indie game I stuck with updating as long as I live. I'll probably add in a lot of new stuff and even dates over its lifetime. As sad as the writing was, I was happy that I did it. There were a lot of moments when this game sparked immense joy in my heart and reminded me how important love is for the soul. Anyway, if you haven't checked out the game, wishlist it. Screw it, buy it, it's on sale. And if you like it, please leave a positive review. It helps a lot with visibility. And please, because I'm an indie developer with no marketing budget, liking, commenting, and subscribing this YouTube video will help me like crazy. I also got a question for a couple of you out there. If there actually was a 3D adaptation of a Landmine Princess, would you buy it? Like, I would genuinely want to know, because I just want to plan out, the whole J-Star development schedule and stuff, and I would love to make a 3D adaptation of this game if there's demand for it. Anyway, with that said, I love you all. Thank you for playing Landmine Princess, and if you have not, please do.